Welcome back to Sunrise. The Prime Minister has fired a warning shot at the world's richest man, telling Elon Musk to not get involved in our upcoming federal election. Anthony Albanese referenced our laws against foreign interference when asked about the possibility of the social media boss weighing in on our politics. Musk, of course, was pivotal to Donald Trump's victory in the US and has been very vocal about politics in the UK and Germany as well. For their take, let's bring in Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth and Shadow Finance Minister Jane Hume. Morning to you both, ladies. Amanda, this is kind of like poking the bear, isn't it, this warning to Elon Musk? Do you think it could actually encourage him to weigh in?
Well, look, firstly, I would say that we've had free and fair elections in Australia. In fact, our electoral system is held up as the envy of many places in the world. And so I think being really clear, a clear message that we will not accept foreign interference in our elections. Ultimately, the decision of who governs our country should be left to the Australian people. That's the cornerstone of democracy. So, look, I think it's important for our Prime Minister to be sending a clear message that if anyone is thinking about interfering in our elections, we won't stand for it.
But Amanda, these foreign interference laws that were introduced in 2018, they impact political donations, but there's nothing to stop him just sending putting a post on X. That's free, and we've seen from overseas elections it can be impactful.
Well, of course, people can comment on, social media and the like, but what's got to be really clear is that they can't interfere with our elections. And we are a sovereign country and we need to stand up for our national interest. And it's really, really important that the message is out there that Australia is its own country and we won't stand for foreign interference.
Jane, we've seen Elon get behind a number of candidates around the world, particularly on the right side of politics. Do you actually think an intervention from the infamous billionaire could actually benefit the coalition in this upcoming election?
He'd be incapable of doing so even if he wanted to. Those laws from 2018 were introduced by a coalition government to stop both foreign interference but also donations from foreigners as well, and lobbying too. So while we want freedom of speech to thrive and flourish, we want to encourage national debate on really important issues. I'm afraid that that's not going to be possible for Elon to participate directly in an Australian election.
Yeah, still a couple of comments from the peanut gallery and comments on the sidelines, so we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of months. Moving on, education costs around the country are soaring, with some fees increasing by nearly 60% compared to last year. New research shows the total cost for a child starting school in 2025 in a metro area is now more than $123,000. We're talking about public education here. That's when you add up everything from school fees, uniforms, tutoring, sports equipment, tech. So, Amanda, that's almost 10 grand a year. How are parents expected to cope with this increase?
Well, look, costs around education they are significant, and of course, from our government's perspective, we're looking at all the ways we can support families with cost of living at the same time as fighting inflation. So that's the first point I would make, that cost of living relief, whether it was the tax cuts or other really important cost of living relief that we've taken, that's about supporting families. But in addition, we've also put record amounts of money on the table for public education. We are working with the states and territories, and we want to see that flow to good quality education at schools. So it is about supporting parents and tackling cost of living where we can, fighting inflation, but of course, importantly, making sure that our public schools, as well as our schools right across the country, are adequately funded.
Yeah, it is supposed to be free, this public education, and it, of course, increases exponentially for independent and Catholic schools. Finally, it's been revealed that 1 in 3 hopeful Australian citizens actually failed our citizenship test last year. The test asked some pretty basic questions like what our nation's capital is. Just quickly and without prior notice, we wanted to test you guys on the questions that are included in this practice test. So, Amanda, we'll start with you. What year did the separate colonies join together to become the Australian nation?
I think it's 1901.
Want to give me a date precisely on that, or stick with the year?
I'll stick with the year of 1901.
January 1st for the record. If you have to take the test, Jane, your turn. Who does the Governor-General of Australia represent?
He represents the Queen. Oh, sorry, not the Queen, the King. We have a King now. Gee, I would have failed.
Or indeed, she represents the King. I think we kind of got a half pass there.
Hey, you're only going to get 75% apparently.
Okay,
and they're
right.
multiple choice, Eddie. They're multiple choice.
Let's hope you perform well on the rest of the questions, ladies. Welcome back for 2025. It's going to be a big year for both of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's David.
Thanks, Eddie.